Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is Paul here, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about Woodstock 99. I was digging around through a drawer the other day, and guess what I found? I found my original pamphlet. When I went and bought my ticket for Woodstock 99, I bought it at a Ticketmaster location, and when I picked up the ticket, there was a pamphlet on the counter that went for the Woodstock 99 festival. So of course I grabbed the pamphlet, and I just happened to find this pamphlet from 25 years ago. It kind of looks a lot like the original tickets that, if you're in the United States and you bought a ticket for Woodstock 99, your ticket probably looked kind of like this, had this design on it, right? The van and the yellow background designs and stuff. But this is not a Woodstock 99 ticket. This is a Woodstock 99 brochure, telling you everything you needed to know in advance about Woodstock 99. I found this lovely brochure, and let's just check it out. First thing that catches my eye right away is all the bands that are listed here across the front. And if you may notice, there are a couple of bands that were not actually at Woodstock 99. Let's talk about those. This was obviously made up way ahead of time, before, many months before the festival actually went on, and there was time for some bands to actually maybe cancel, change their plans. Things happen, not everybody could actually make it, but it's very interesting that the very top one that is listed on here, I don't know if you can see that, but the very first one, Aerosmith. And Aerosmith did not play at Woodstock 99. So it's pretty interesting to see this pamphlet where it clearly says Aerosmith as the very first band mentioned. Now, why did Aerosmith not play? I don't know. As far as I know, they backed out way early on in the process. Like they must have initially made some sort of agreement that they were going to play there, and then quickly, due to scheduling reasons or whatever, they backed out of it months and months before the festival. Some of this early produced merchandise was obviously still produced with the Aerosmith name on it. This Woodstock 99 shirt that I am currently wearing, I know you can't really see it, but on the back of it, it lists all the bands, and of course Aerosmith is listed on the back of this shirt as well. Would have been pretty awesome if Aerosmith was at Woodstock 99, but no, they weren't there. So what does it say? It says Aerosmith, Bush, the Chemical Brothers, George Clinton, Collective Soul, the Counting Crows, Creed, Sheryl Crow, DMX, Everlast, Fatboy Slim. Here's the next one. The Foo Fighters are listed on here. I don't know if I can point that out to you, but it's down here in blue right there beside my finger. It says the Foo Fighters. Would have been so awesome if the Foo Fighters had played Woodstock 99. They would have made a great closing act on any of the nights that, Woodstock Festival happened on. But again, the Foo Fighters weren't there. They must have backed out way early on too, because I don't think their name's even on the back of this shirt, but it somehow, the Foo Fighters' name made it onto the front of this pamphlet. So they were obviously booked, scheduled, planned to play there at some point, and for whatever reason the Foo Fighters pulled out and they did not play at Woodstock 99. Makes me wonder if I could ask Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, do you regret not playing at Woodstock 99? Is that something you would have liked to have played at? Or in retrospect, knowing how the festival turned out, are they quite happy that they never actually played at Woodstock 99? It makes me wonder, like bands like Aerosmith and the Foo Fighters that were advertised on this brochure and they never actually played there. Makes me wonder how they feel about it looking back in retrospect, if they think that they missed out on this amazing festival that took place in 1999, or if they're like, thank goodness we didn't play the Woodstock 99 festival, look how that turned out. It was just a little bit of a train wreck. It doesn't surprise me if these bands are quite happy that they didn't actually play at Woodstock 99. Now let's see here. After the Foo Fighters, it had Guster, Mickey Hart, Planet Drum. Never heard of Planet Drum. Ice Cube, Jewel, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Live, Los Lobos, Dave Matthews Band, Metallica, Mo, Alanis Morissette, Willie Nelson, Our Lady Peace, Rage Against the Machine, Sugar Ray, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rusted Root, the Brian Seltzer Orchestra, the Offspring, the Tragically Hip. Did I say the Offspring? I meant the Offspring. The Offspring, the Tragically Hip, and Wyclef Jean. So that's the bands that were listed right on the front here. There were more bands that played at Woodstock that were not listed on here, but that was, the early on. This is the brochure that, printed up to try to convince everybody that, look at this awesome lineup we have for Woodstock 99. And I have to admit, with Aerosmith and Foo Fighters on there, it was really selling this a lot more. But the final lineup still turned out to be excellent. Woodstock 99 was an amazing time with an amazing lineup. It was pretty interesting that I found this old brochure. So it has the dates on the bottom there. Woodstock, July 23rd, 24th, 25th, 1999 at Griffith Park in Rome, New York. Did I say Griffith? I meant Griffiths. At Griffiths Park in Rome, New York. On the very back of this, there's the please bring list of items that they want you to bring to the festival. And below that are the please leave at home, all the things that they do not want you to bring to this festival. So let's take a quick little look at that. Now, under the things to bring, it's a lot of common sense items. If you're going to a 3-day camping music festival, this would go for any 3-day camping music festival. These are items that you want to bring with you so you have an enjoyable weekend. Let's see what they tell you to bring. Number 1, your ticket. That's a pretty obvious one. Don't forget your ticket. That's pretty obvious. It says no one underage will be permitted to enter the site without a ticket. Security will be tight. It was so-so. They want you to bring sleeping bags, bedrolls, lightweight mats, small pillows, blankets, small pop-up tents, rain gear, slickers, small tarps, sunscreen, mosquito netting, sturdy, comfortable shoes and socks. That was a big plus. You definitely needed that. Clothing for changing weather, non-aerosol insect repellent, empty plastic containers, small cameras for personal use, plastic flashlight, photo ID, fanny pack for your wallet and valuables, personal hygiene products, personal medicines. They're in their original containers. And foods for special dietary needs. So if you had a special dietary, like gluten-free type, you had to bring your own stuff. You're not going to find your special dietary needs being sold at Woodstock 99, so they wanted you to bring that. As much as they weren't letting food in, they wanted you to bring any special items that you might need to survive the weekend that they're not going to provide for you. So isn't that nice of them to remind you of that? Now this is the more entertaining section, the please leave at home section. Under please leave at home we have alcoholic beverages, illegal drugs. It's funny that they have to actually print these. Weapons, firearms, stoves, grills, metal objects, such as knives, axes, hatchets, shovels, pots and pans, lanterns, air horns, umbrellas, glass or metal cans, bottles or containers, fireworks or other incendiary devices. Whatever you do, don't bring your hand grenades or anything like that to music festivals. You don't want to bring anything like that, that's never a good idea, right? As hazardous materials such as fuel, video cameras or tape recorders. They didn't want you to bring your own video cameras or tape recorders. Back in 1999, some people had handheld, Sony type video cameras that were already coming out slowly but surely. There were some tape recorders, like people with great big VHS tape, Marty McFly. All right, Doc, let's get it up to 88 miles an hour. I don't know. Some people, I saw them. They were there. All this stuff. Everything that's listed not to bring, everybody brought this stuff, right? So it's just kind of funny. What else did they say? Lawn furniture. That's an odd one. Why wouldn't you want people to bring lawn furniture, like to bring a chair to be able to sit on? Like, it would have made the weekend 1,000 times better. But they literally didn't allow lawn furniture. There were no folding chairs or anything like that. So, you know, you want to sit down, you got to throw down your blanket, sit on the ground, and just suck it up on the nice, dirty, bumpy ass ground. And if you're like too large of a person to be getting up and down from the ground, like, I don't know why they wouldn't allow a folding chair. Like, it seems ridiculous to me. Obviously, when you get up, you fold up your chair and you take it away with you, right? Like, I think folding chairs would have been okay, but they said no lawn furniture of any type. No laser pointers. Nobody likes a laser pointer in their eye when they're performing on stage. No pets except for seeing eye dogs. And please do not bring perishable food on site except for special dietary needs. So again, like, you know, you're there for 3 days. They wanted you to buy all of their super expensive, super marked up food. You know, their $12 pizzas and their $12 subs, their $8 hamburgers. This was all in US currency in 1999. It was ridiculous. You know, if you could have just brought in like a small cooler with some hot dogs and stuff in it, you know, like, I don't know, but I guess how do you cook them, right? They didn't allow you to have campfires or anything like that. So unless you brought a little stove with fuel, which is completely on the list of banned items to bring, like, it was a money grab when it came to stuff like that. You should be allowed to bring your own basic survival essentials with you when you go to a 3-day music festival. And especially like food type items. Like, of course you should be able to bring food to live off of for the weekend. You shouldn't have to buy every single meal at one of these incredibly marked up food vendors. Like, that's craziness. Craziness. So that was the list of all the things they wanted you to bring and not to bring to Woodstock 99. Let's see if we open up our little pamphlet here. There's a lovely inside section. And again, it has all the bands listed that were supposed to be playing there that weekend. It says that the Woodstock 99 site is expected to include, so they're trying to highlight their different features that you'll be able to find at Woodstock 99. It said they would have an art village, a film festival, experimental theater, concession village, a beer garden, ecology displays, craft demonstrations, a technology park, video walls, an action lounge with extreme sports, and a camper store that will be provided in the camping area to sell you all the provisions that you would need to camp with, right? They sold tents, sleeping bags, everything that you would need for camping. Of course, they were willing to sell it to you right there on the site. So then it has this helpful hints section. And under the helpful hints, it says the festival site covers 1,200 acres. 1,200 acres. When people, you know, it was big. It was big. Walking around this site, like, that just took it out of you alone in the hot summer heat under the scorching sun with the no shade. Just walking around was enough to just physically exhaust you, let alone standing out there for hours and hours on end watching these shows, right? Says there will be payphones on the site, ATMs, information booths spread across the site with site maps, artist schedules, etc. Large information screens will also be clearly visible. And it says drinking water, a very contentious issue when it comes to Woodstock 99. Let's see what it says here about drinking water at Woodstock 99. Drinking water. Dehydration and overheating can be a serious problem. Fresh drinking water will be provided free of charge. It actually says this in the flyer. This water was very, very difficult to find. Did I find the free of charge potable water? Yep, I sure did. Closer to the camping areas, I definitely found a giant container, like a big vat full of potable drinking water that was as warm as jacuzzi water, just sitting out, heating up in the sun all day long. So, you know, if you wanted a nice, hot, warm, steamy glass of refreshing water, it was free. If you wanted a nice, cold 500 milliliter bottle of water, it was $4 US. So that's the way that went. It says that it would be free of charge, though. It says, bring an empty plastic refillable container for your personal use. Limit exposure to the sun. Wear a hat, shirt, and sunscreen. Avoid contact with animals, such as raccoons, skunks, and even stray dogs and cats that could have rabies. Lyme disease is carried by deer ticks. To avoid being bitten, use repellents containing DEET and check regularly for ticks. I don't recall this being an issue. I never brought any sort of insect repellent to Woodstock 99 and I was fine. I don't even think I got bit by mosquitoes the entire time I was there. So I suppose depending on location, where you're at and everything, it's a good idea if you're going to be outside for 3 days to bring insect repellent with you. But at Woodstock 99, wasn't necessary. Hypothermia results from a loss of body heat and can be fatal. Well, that one guy that passed away at Woodstock 99, I think he passed away exactly from that. He got hypothermia or whichever one it is from overheating, not from being too cold, but from being too hot. It says it can occur on a cool, windy summer day or evening, especially if individuals are wearing wet clothing. Make sure to change from wet cotton clothes to dry woolen or polar fleece clothes. Sleeping in cars or on the ground can lower the body temperature to a dangerous level, especially after drinking alcohol. Always sleep in warm surroundings or in a sleeping bag, blanket, or warm clothing. All very much common sense stuff, right? But, I suppose they got to remind you just in case. Please wear appropriate footwear at all times to prevent serious injuries or burns. Wear identification, such as your medical alert bracelets, to identify any serious health conditions that you may have. If you are pregnant or have any serious life-threatening conditions, you should not attend this event. So those are wise words of advice, If you're not in the really good health, you don't go to a 3-day outdoor camping music festival. You have to be in fairly decent healthy condition to survive these kind of conditions, right? If you do not feel well or you are injured, contact a member of security or EMS personnel. Check area maps and familiarize yourself with the location of medical treatment facilities. There should be signs and directions to the nearest medical treatment facility in all areas. I don't even know where they were. I know there was one down near the main stage type area, but I don't recall seeing these booths, but it was a huge site and I certainly didn't explore every single corner of it when I was there. Now it says, drink alcohol in moderation so that you and everyone around you can enjoy this spectacular event. I agree. Do people do that? No. Were there riots Sunday night after people drank and, did drugs and everything for 3 days straight? Yep. Yes, sir, there was. Do not take drugs or drinks offered to you. These can turn a good time into a trip to the hospital. Please do not bring young children to this event. More people should have adhered to that because there were a lot of people that brought their kids to Woodstock 99. Why? I don't know. But they did. Don't bring your children. If you must, please register their emergency contact information at the entrance of the gates prior to the admission to ensure the safety of the child. If a thunderstorm strikes, move away from the trees, stage, sound towers, and other elevated structures. For safety's sake, you should have received a tetanus booster within the last 10 years and a second measles shot if you were born after November 1957. Talk about taking precautions. In cooperation with the Mohawk Glen Community Health Center, there will be a primary healthcare facility located on-site and strategically located secondary health care facility staffed by physicians, nurses, and emergency service personnel. If the need arises, medevac helicopters and advanced life support ambulances will be available. Think clean and green. If you bring it, plan on taking it out. Don't trash Woodstock 99 or the state of New York. Well, I got bad news for you. They trashed the Woodstock 99 site. It was absolutely destroyed. When you see that footage of the Monday morning, the day after the riots and the chaos, holy crap, the garbage was everywhere. I can't imagine how many freaking dump trucks they must have filled with just the ground garbage alone. It was phenomenal. It had to have been just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of garbage everywhere. It makes me wonder how long it took them to clean up that mess. It had to have taken like a couple of weeks to get that Air Force base looking back to like what it looked like before the festival was held there. Must have taken a long time. It says there will be ample number of porta sands on site. Not nearly enough. An ample number is great, but you got to make sure you have enough for the 250, 300,000 people that show up, and make sure that they're clean multiple times every day. Did they do that? No, of course they didn't do that. It was a freaking disaster. And I had stated before, when you opened up the door onto one of these porta sand units, like if the seat was like here at this level, the pile was already up to here. So like they weren't usable. It was the most disgusting, most horrible, horrendous things that you had ever seen in your life. And the entire weekend that I was there for 5 days, from Thursday until early Monday morning. And I never used one of these porta sand units once because I could never find one that was actually in a usable condition. So yeah, one of their big downfalls right there. And then the very last one, practice safe sex. Isn't that nice of them to tell you? They didn't want a whole bunch of little Woodstock babies being born from a bunch of strangers having promiscuous sex. So, you know, practice safe sex. Available for the physically challenged. They had certain access. It said festival attendees whose mobility is limited will have access to lift equipment shuttle bus between a handicap parking area and the accessible area only. There will be no internal shuttles to other festival areas. So once you're inside this 1,200-acre site, even you poor disabled people, you're on your own at this point. We're not shuttling you anywhere. You know, once you get to that outside gate, yep, we'll have a shuttle to drive you back to your car. But that's it. That's all they're providing. It says wheelchair accessible sanitation units and food services area will be available. I didn't see them. Doesn't mean that they weren't there. But you know, when you saw rows and rows of porta potties, I don't recall seeing the wheelchair accessible porta potties, but I'm sure they had to have a couple of them around. There will be an accessible camping area, which I never really saw again. All throughout the camping area, every pathway, walkway that you walked on to get around were all full of wood chips, like 4 inches deep of wood chips. So that doesn't sound very accessible to me. Could you imagine trying to push a wheelchair or even ride an electric mobility device through 4 inches of wood chips? It says seeing eye dogs will be allowed. You know, they did do certain things, right? But overall, Woodstock 99 was a great concert. It was a great concert experience. I had a great time there. But was it a complete shit show at the same time? Absolutely. It was absolutely a shit show. If you're a relatively healthy individual, then, you know, you got through that shit show, not a problem, right? And some of the antics were entertaining and were somewhat mildly amusing. But, like, I wasn't about to participate in rioting or anything like that. Overall, I thought you guys would really get a kick out of seeing this old Woodstock 99 pamphlet, so I just wanted to make this video and let you guys know this is out there, it exists. This is Woodstock 99 ephemera. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching my update here on Woodstock 99. And anytime I come up with more ideas, I will be more than happy to share them with you. I have another Woodstock 99 video planned for the near future. We're going to talk a little bit more about the riots and all the chaos that went on that night at Woodstock 99. And stay tuned for that one because you're not going to want to miss it. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty details of what went down there Sunday night at Woodstock 99 and the things that I personally saw and I personally witnessed. So remember to subscribe, hit that like button, and stay tuned for the next one about Woodstock 99. Catch you in the next one.